Okay, so tonight we're going to be making kolaches. And so first I have some yeast and some sugar in the bowl, and then I'm just going to add warmed milk to it and let that yeast bloom up a little bit before I start adding the other ingredients. Okay, so now we're just adding the warmed milk to the yeast and sugar mixture, and I'm going to give it a little stir. And let that start to activate. We'll let the yeast activate. Next, I need to melt 1 3/4 sticks of butter for this. I'm making a small batch of these, so it'll make about 30 kolaches instead of my normal 50 to 60. And so I have to do about a half a recipe. So, all right, I'm just going to melt the butter in the microwave, get that ready to go while the yeast is activating in the milk and sugar, and then we'll add in the next ingredient. Okay, so the yeast is now working quite nicely. It's fully activated. So to that we're going to add 2 egg yolks, and I'm going to start that mixing. And then we're going to add in a half a teaspoon of salt. And we'll let that mix a bit, and we're going to slowly drizzle in the melted butter. And then once that's all mixed in, we're going to add in 3 1/2 cups of flour. And then we'll let the dough hook on the mixer do the work there, and we'll let it knead for a couple minutes. And then the first part of this will be all done. We'll just need to let the dough raise for a little bit until it's about double in size. So I'm going to slowly add in the flour. Let that begin to incorporate. Okay, so the flour is beginning to incorporate into here, and once it all comes together, we're going to let it knead, but you let it mix slowly at first so you don't end up with flour all over your kitchen, and then you can gradually turn up the speed. And so now I've let this dough mix a little bit, and I'm just gonna pull the dough off the hook, and then I'm gonna set this over in a warm place to rise. Okay, so now we've let the dough raise until it's double in size, and now we're gonna do the next step before they have to raise a second time. And that step is that we make it into small size balls about this size, and we just put those on a sheet pan lined with parchment paper, and we roll all those out until we've reached the end of our dough. You could measure them if you want. I do not measure mine. I just have gotten to where I know about the size I need, and so I just put them in and let them raise again over in another warm spot for the end process. So here's what they turn out like when I have them all in the ball form that they need to be in, and then I will let them raise a little bit, and then we'll finish up with the final steps of this process. Okay, so now the final step on these kolaches is they've all raised, and we just place them and you take 2 fingers, hold on, I'm going to try to get this back a little better for a shot, and you put your 2 fingers in the center of the dough and you push down and pull out, and it will make a little well in there like that. And then you take your pie filling of choice and you put a spoonful in there. This pie filling is apple. So once you get that filled, then the topping on it is a combination of cold butter cut in with flour, a cup of flour and a cup of sugar to make crumbs. And so you put that crumb mixture on top. Just sprinkle it on like that, and then we'll bake them. And it's really important, we bake them in a 350-degree oven, and it's very important not to over bake these. And so I'm just going to keep making the filling inside them and get them ready to bake, and then I'll let you see what they look like before they go in the oven. Okay, so these are all now ready. They're all filled with the pie filling and topped with the streusel topping, and then they will go into a 350-degree oven and they bake for about 17 minutes. So here's what they look like when they come out of the oven. These are strawberry and then apple kolaches, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My son would tell me to please remind you to like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy these videos, and we will keep making more. Thank you.